Until Dawn is directed by David F. Sandberg and is based off the video game of the same name. A group of friends trapped in a time loop where mysterious foes chase and kill them in gruesome ways must survive until dawn to escape. Now, I never played the video game at all. I don't know any characters or story elements of those games, no lore or anything. So if you're watching this review knowing if my thoughts on the video game and if it's a faithful adaptation will co-align and everything like that, this is not the review for you. I'm just gonna review the movie as it is without knowing anything about the video game, just basing off the story from what I saw with my own eyes as it is played out. I don't know if it's a great adaptation or good or anything. It did not affect my enjoyment at all of the film. I just went there blind, knowing nothing. So yeah, that is just a little bit of a disclaimer there. As a film by itself, with me not knowing anything about the game, I thought this movie was okay. I thought it was a decent enough horror film that had a lot of cool, scary elements and a lot of cool, gruesome kills with these kids. And I thought the characters were likable enough. Some of them were a bit annoying, honestly, and were underdeveloped, but none of the characters here I found annoying. None of them really distracted me from the story or were all bad actors. They all did fine for what their roles demanded them for. I particularly like the main actress who portrays our main character. She's the one that we follow throughout the course of the film and is the driving force of the story as she is looking for her sister in this haunted house. And she's constantly looking for clues. She's trying to figure out where she could be. And at times we do look back at her past and we start to understand why she is the way she is, why she came all this way to this house. And we understand a bit of her backstory with her sister, and we get a bit of an understanding of their relationship. I just felt like the movie could have done a little bit more with that to strengthen that character development, as we get the basics of it all. But if the movie wanted to have a bit more emotion with the characters and what they're going for, then I think they could have strengthened that bond between the sisters here just a little bit more. Have us look a bit more back at her past, maybe in a few glimpses here and there, until we get that big flashback reveal at the end. And it probably would have made a bit of the emotional climax hit a bit harder. Now, how are the horror elements? With David F. Sandberg being a really good horror director, I really do like Annabelle Creation and Lights Out, and a lot of his short films on YouTube. He's great. I think he does a really good job with the horror elements here, and it's where I think the film finds its stride, because there's a lot of cool horror stuff here, like gnarly elements, gruesome, disgusting creatures. You get slashers here a bit, you get grotesque horror, alien horror a bit. It's all sorts of monsters that you could imagine in this haunted house that are going after these kids, and I really do like all the visual ways that this film was able to portray that. And at times there can be a false jump scare, I guess, but that maybe only happened once. It's just a lot of tension, suspense, and build up, and there is a good enough payoff because we're constantly seeing these same characters die, and they are having to relive the same event until they're able to make it until dawn. And I think the film was able to do a lot of creative things with that, like having the characters figuring out how they're able to maybe survive a bit longer than normal, or figuring out how many times someone else has gone through this, or how many people have gone through this, trying to use that past as an advantage and for their current situation, and how the movie kind of toys around with that, manipulating what they originally planned, so they have to improvise a bit. And I think the film does a lot of creative things like that to keep the audience on the edge of your seat, unsure what's going to happen next. Now, the overall reveal of what's happened if you've seen a movie before, you will know where it's going. The big reveal at the end about how everything came to be, the villain motivation. It just kind of seemed generic. The guy from the Lost World that gets eaten by all of those compies makes a bit of an appearance in the film in the beginning, as we saw in the trailer, and I really liked him. He was a bit creepy. I just felt like the actual villain motivation here of what he wants, again, generic. Did not really listen much of a reaction. I was like, okay, I get it. A lot of this film was just good. It was decent. Nothing like incredible. The horror stuff I found pretty unique and a lot of fun. How the characters are and what they're doing in the plot, their purpose were fine. The directing was really good. I really like a lot of the horror elements and how they're portrayed, the claustrophobia of it all. It was surprisingly pretty decent. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's good. But I don't think it's bad or mediocre. It's just pretty decent. It's somewhere in the positive part, like around the middle. Like, I don't see myself watching this movie again unless it's like a rainy day and I need something fun to put on, or I just am in the middle of the spooky season of Halloween and I want to put on a creepy, fun Halloween movie that can be played in the background. I can see myself putting Until Dawn once in a while, but I am not going to like be excited to go back to watch this film over and over again passionately. But for what it is a decent horror film that I thought it was very enjoyable. But if it's a bad adaptation of the game, then I wouldn't know. I don't play the game, I don't know anything about it. So yeah, this is just a blind reaction to the movie just as it is. I'm gonna give Until Dawn a B-. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys next time.